We are ready to go racing here at Croft in the TEGIWA Type R Trophy. Lights go out now and away we go. Pretty even start from the two on the front row. Not a particularly good start by Travis Coyne, number 70 on the second row of the grid. So it looks like he might lose one or two positions. Yes, he has lost more than one or two. He's lost about 6 or 7 places as they go down to the first corner. It is Chris Nyland that rides the curbs, gets a bit sideways in doing so. Mark Dickin, I think it is, in joint second place alongside Jake Hewlett at the moment then. And he's going to try and go through on the inside at Hawthorne, is the more experienced Mark Dickin. But it's Chris Nyland that's got the lead as they head out of Hawthorne and down the back straight for the first time.
Yeah, Mark Dickin did get second, and Jake Hewlett might lose another position. He's side by side going down to Tower with Dave Fricker, but Fricker's on the outside into Tower, so can Jake Hewlett, who's never raced before on the circuit, is trying to hang on there through Tower, and he has done so. He's held on to third place as the rest of the field come through there, including number 11, another novice driver, which is Joseph McMillan. But through here, through the S, is a huge twitch there from Jake Hewlett on still slightly cold tired, but he saved it. He stays ahead of Dave Fricker, and then Dan Chapman there from 6th on the grid is behind them as they make their way through. You said originally, and it's Travis Coyne that really lost out at the start of this one.
Yeah, it wasn't a great getaway at all. There's one of them off on the grass briefly.
It was Dan Chapman.
It was, wasn't it? So he's one of the returning drivers from last season, but he got that collected up quite nicely, and they're all heading now into the complex. Out front, Chris Nyland's got a few car lengths of a break at the moment, ahead of the second place driver, which is Mark Dickin at the moment. So out of the hairpin go the leaders as we're watching the back markers head in, including Travis Coyne trying to recover up on 2 wheels there as he went over the curb on the inside. But at the end of lap 1, it is Christopher Nyland that's leading by 1.7 seconds from number 777 Mark Dickin in second place, and Jake Hewlett is in third, 3/10 behind him. So very close for second and third. Dave Fricker is fourth, and then rounding out the top 5 at the moment is still Daniel Chapman in the blue car.
Yeah, so where Jake Hewlett was sort of trying to hang on to third, now he's gone back after Mark Dickin, like you were saying there, and now he's challenging again for second place. Jake Hewlett, who's done some sim racing in the past, but now going to real life racing and going really well on his first outing here behind Mark Dickin, then Dave Fricker and Dan Chapman. He didn't really lose out after that off-track excursion. Then in 6th place is Chris Smith, who led this big pack there. Travis Coyne, who had that slow start, he dropped all the way outside the top 10. He's got back to 10th now, and a change for this season is we get a reverse grid of the top 10 cars come the second race of the day. So 10th, I guess, isn't the worst place to be in this first race.
Yeah, not necessarily. We'll see how all of that pans out. A bit of smoke from someone a little bit further up the order. That's the 28 car, Joe Jessup, going through shot there. Then in 8th place, the 42-year-old from Northampton. Go the second and third place cars, and then Dave Fricker in 4th in one of the DH Racing prepared machines, car number 8 for Dave Frick, ex-Kent Formula Ford 1600 Festival winner as well, from again, getting on for 2 decades ago now, showing my age here. Over the line to complete another lap goes Chris Nyland, but there is the battle between Joe Jessup and, that's Ashmore, isn't it? And Matt Digby's going to try and buy into this as well, I think, as they come up to the line this time. Matt Digby in the green car with the green and black car just behind them. They're heading down towards Clervaux Corner now. So is it going to be Ashmore that appears in the back of shot there? Still alongside, it's Jessup just ahead of Moore then, as they go through. Then it's Digby, and then it's Travis Coyne. So this is the battle for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. So this is effectively the battle, if you like, for who's going to be on pole position for the later race.
Chris Nyland has just broken Adam Shepherd's lap record. So the pace this year, I think he's quicker as well, which is really impressive. And there's about a second into Tower just through short. Jake Hewlett was trying to come up the inside of Mark Dickin. Meanwhile, Matt Digby might lose a position. We thought he might gain one a half a lap ago, but Travis Coyne's alongside him now. And Matt Digby runs out over the curbs. They touch there a little bit, coming out the corner, side by side into the S's next. He's normally pretty brave, and he backs out of it, doesn't he, Travis Coyne? The more experienced Matt Digby kept his foot in, and he stays in 9th.
Okay, 4 minutes or so have gone already in this race. We're working lap 3. Chris Nyland leading by 2.25 seconds at the moment from Dickin and Hewlett, but we're watching the battle a little bit further back at the moment. Travis Coyne embroiled in this after that very bad start he made to the race, and he's running towards the back of the top 10 at the moment. There you can see 67 Connor Murphy just going through shot for those of you watching on the live stream. For those of you at the circuit, coming up to complete another lap, Chris Nyland 1:30 Is he continuing to extend that lead over Mark Dickin? We'll soon find out whether he is or not. The gap was 2.28 seconds. And it's now 3.32, yes, so he's pulled out another second that lap. Did he go any faster? Yes, he did. He's now 1:35.41 now as Chris Nyland to improve on his own lap record.
Mark Dickin hanging on to second place, ahead of Jake Hewlett, so he might not be going as quickly as the leader, Chris Nyland, but he is hanging on to second place. They go through the chicanes. Such a quick sequence of corners there. Mark Dickin, who was a motorcycle racer a decade or so ago before switching to cars. He's trying to hang on to second place here, down into Tower Corner, braking in that downhill section there, and then through Tower he hangs on to second up towards the S's. This is where it gets really quick at Croft, through the Jim Clark S's and into Barcroft. And you've got to be brave to keep flat out all the way through this section, and that's what Mark Dickin will be doing, while keeping an eye on his mirrors and making sure Jake Hewlett's not going to challenge down into Sunny. He gets late on the brakes, less than a car length between the two of them, but hanging on in P2 is Mark Dickin.
Really impressive performance this though from Jake Hewlett in third place. It's his debut season, 29 years of age, fibre engineer from Stevenage, as that's Chris Smith briefly over the grass, but back onto the circuit again. Back to this battle though for second place. Done plenty of sim racing, has Jake, but he would like to have experience to not just 750 Motor Club racing, but TCR and BTCT in the future as well. He's backed by R2 Automotive, but he's behind the more experienced Mark Dickin at the moment, the 36-year-old from Warwickshire. As Josh mentioned, he raced bikes from 2007, did some oval racing in Rebels as well from 2015 for 2 or 3 years, and has been circuit racing for 4 or 5 seasons now, initially in Hyundais and for the past couple of seasons in the Type R Trophy as well.
Into Clairvaux there, I think we saw an overtaking. Matt Digby gaining a place, I think. So he's moved up a spot in all of that. Just ahead of them is a good battle with fourth, being headed by Dave Fricker, ahead of Daniel Chapman, and Joe Jessup is trying to get involved here. Joe Jessup might be a little bit disappointed with how this is going. It's been the top returning driver from last season, down in 6th. He said yesterday, he told me he got his best result at Croft last year, and this is his favourite circuit. But a bit further down the order this year in 6th place. But I think despite not having that top 5 last year in, we've got, like we're saying, lap record pace, so everyone's going very quickly here, and perhaps that experience from last year is helping, and some new drivers coming in with lots of pace as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's got a very different look and feel to it for this season, hasn't it? We're just about halfway through this race. Still Jake Hewlett trying to find a way past Mark Dickin. I think Dickin feeling the pressure, but so too is Hewlett. He runs a little bit wide there, gets his braking points a bit wrong, I think, going into the complex, and he lost a couple of car lengths because of that. You can see the black cross on the yellow background on the back of his car for his novice status. Meanwhile, Chris Nyland, it is still out front by 3.8 seconds now. He's getting encouragement from Declan McDonald online, an ex-teammate of Chris Nyland in the C1 Macatak racing team. Down into Clairvaux over that battle for second place, and now 5 seconds behind the leader. Mark Dickin slides out wide. He just about recovers it, I think, for Hawthorne, and doesn't therefore give up this second place, but therefore also right on his tail now is Jake Hewlett as they come out of the chicane. Is this going to give Hewlett a chance to make a move down in towards Tower Bend? He's learning all the time, of course, not competing in real life motorsport before. Mark Dickin brakes extremely late. Both cars are sliding on the brakes, but they both managed to gather it up to turn into the corner. So a great battle this is between Mark Dickin and Jake Hewlett, with vastly different backgrounds, Ian, but they're having this great battle. Yeah, and interestingly, the fact that they're having a big battle isn't really delaying them, because Dave Fricker, he's 2.5 seconds behind in 4th place, number 8, and then Daniel Chapman another half second behind him. In fact, there has been a change, and Chapman's going off the circuit at Barcroft. That's not really where you want to be going off. I think, fortunately for him, he's taken the rear screen out of that car. I thought the damage was going to be limited to the front bumper, but he's now got no glass in the rear window either. But that could have been a lot worse. That could have been a large accident, because we've already seen one accident there today, haven't we? Side by side, we said through the S's is brave, and neither driver was really wanting to give away there, were they? And that kind of is what the end result is. So that does promote, though, Joe Jessup into 5th place, with the demise of Daniel Chapman up there at Sunnyhouse, where the accident ended. Yeah, that's right. So that's going to change the top 10 look a little bit, therefore. So Jessup is up to 5th, therefore, just coming across the line behind them. Ashmore is 6th, 7th Travis Coyne, 8th Mac Digby, 9th is Will Pottinger, and 10th is Chris Smith.
Let's see if we can see a replay, possibly, of that moment for Daniel Chapman. So it's at Barcroft. There's Dave Fricker. He just lost out, hadn't he, to Joe Jessup, who was offline. And once he got onto the grass, Josh, there was not a lot he could do.
No, but he did well, didn't he? Just unlucky, really, that he lost his rear screen and all that. I don't think there's probably any damage to the bodywork of the car, and I'm sure he's continued. I suspect he'll be able to continue anyway. But much further down the order, of course. Meanwhile, the battle of a second, well, they're not know anything about that, and they're carrying on their battle with Mark Dickin ahead.
Yeah, he's just come across the line 22nd, I think, as Daniel Chapman after all of that. So 4 minutes of this race to go. We have had 6 laps. And, oh, that's Tim Necklin that's off. That's down at Clairvaux. That's in quite an exposed position. You can see in the background the JCB is already on the move to try and affect a live snatch into double-waved yellow flags.
OK, so they're overtaken at Clairvaux, but with the hairpin there's no yellow flags, and that's where Jake Hewlett's trying to find a way past Mark Dickin. He can't make that work, though. Meanwhile, in front of them, Chris Nyland has completed another lap. He continues to be the race leader. And Jake Hewlett had a really good run across the line, but he's going to have to back out of this because there are double-waved yellows, and he does so. He moves back in behind Mark Dickens. That will be a bit frustrating for him. His best chance he had at an overtaking move was scuppered there. Behind them there is Dave Fricker, who's been caught by Joe Jessup. So Jessup's got good pace here. He's got the second fastest lap of the race. So just qualifying didn't go well for him. He qualified back in 8th, but he's showing that he is going to be one of the contenders this season, I think.
Definitely. Chris Smith is currently looking like he's the favourite to start on pole position for race 2. He's in 10th place, about 2 1/4 seconds clear of the next car, which is Connor Murphy in car 67.
We saw Chris Smith in hot hats last season, didn't we?
We did,
so he's gone the opposite directions of some of the other drivers that have gone from Type R Trophy to hot hat. We'll see those later, but here's the battle of the 4th. We've seen Joe Jessup gain a place through Barcroft before, but Dave Fricker is able to stay ahead and will be trying to use all his years of Formula Ford experience, which is normally pretty aggressive, Ian, to stay ahead here of Joe Jessup.
It's a while ago, though, and Joe Jessup behind him, another of the cars prepared by the DH Racing stable as well. So they're effectively teammates, these drivers, as well as they come into the complex, and up on the inside there goes Joe Jessup. Fricker just about fends him off there as they go into the second element of the complex. Just ahead, it was getting close between the second and third place cars. They're side by side now as well as they come across the line. You can see it's neck and neck and the yellow flags are in at Clairvaux this time. So it's going to be Jake Hewlett and Mark Dickin wheel to wheel as they go down to Clairvaux. It's Dickin on the inside line. On the outside line is the newcomer Jake Hewlett. He doesn't want to give best, but he has to in the end. And Dickin holds on to second place.
I think behind them, Joe Jessup might have got the better of Dave Fricker. He has, so he's managed to make that move work. They were both 2 pairs of cars going side by side down towards Clairvaux. This is now the penultimate lap of the race. Mark Dickin has had his work cut out in this. If that happens again, they're only 100th of a second apart at the line, weren't they? So if Jake Hewlett can do that again, have a better run of it, he might be able to move ahead before the flag. But into Tower, Mark Dickin again was massively sideways, wasn't he, on the brakes into Tower corner. And there's going to be lap traffic as well on these last 2 laps. So everything is sort of adding up. And can Joe Jessup catch them? He's less than 2 seconds behind, and if they continue to battle, he might be able to make it a 3-car battle before the end. Down into Sonny, again looking to the inside with Jake Hewlett, but Mark Dickin defended and stayed ahead. But next, Ian, this lap traffic is going to become a factor into the complex, which isn't the easiest places to perhaps to pass them.
Craig Atkinson, Matthew Duffler and Matthew Morgan, I think, are the 3 cars that are involved. There is Chris Nyland, though, our race leader. 6.4 seconds his lead has gone out to us. I think increasingly the second and third place battlers slowed each other up, and they're now stuck in behind those back markers as well as they head into the hairpin. I think the last lap board is about to go out to Chris Nyland. It does, but then you've got a back marker, and then it's Mark Dickin, and then it's Jake Hewlett here. So they're going to clear that last back marker, and so they should have a clear run now to the flag because the last lap is underway.
Okay, so they turn their way into Clairvaux there 1.5 seconds ahead of Joe Jessup, but he's been caught in the traffic, so I don't think he's going to now be able to challenge them. But a good run up to 4th place nevertheless. But about of a second turn their way out of the chicane with Mark Dickin with a car length advantage over Jake Hewlett, and it's down into Tower where he has had a few moments in the past. This time not necessarily feeling the need to defend though, which I think makes that braking zone a bit more simple for him. So they turn their way through Tower, and Mark Dickens still there in P2 as they head their way next up towards the Jim Clark S's. By the way, Travis Coyne's got himself into the top 6 now. We saw his slow start. He was outside the top 10. Here he is just coming into the S's now in his newly acquired 6th place, ahead of Ashmore there in 7th position. And they're now having to work their way through the traffic. And he's able to do that neatly through Barkoff. But Chris Nyland there, he turns into the complex. About of a second though, that's still to be resolved.
Yeah, and it's still Jake Hewlett trying to find a way past. There's a block of brakes there from one of them as they go into the complex. It's still Dickin, treble 7 ahead of 92. Hewlett already out of the hairpin though is Chris Nyland. He's going to come up to the line to take the checkered flag. He's flashing his lights. It's a light to flag victory in round 1 of the 2022 TEGIWA Type R Trophy. But who's going to be second? It's going to be the neck and neck as they come to the line. Hewlett is going to try and get alongside Dickin, but I think he's just failed to do it by a couple of tenths of a second, probably, wasn't it, in the end? In fact, exactly a tenth of a second. 7.28 seconds Mark Dickin behind the winner, 7.38 seconds Jake Hewlett, but he had a good go there, Josh, on the way to the finish line.
He really did. You know, it was a great race as well. I think, I don't know if you agree, one of the best Type R Trophy races we've seen. OK, Chris Nyland got away, but the battles behind were really good. We saw lots of overtaking as well. And it's all going to be ramped up later on today, isn't it, when we get the top 10 reversed grid, where it looks like provisionally Chris Smith will start on pole position. But the top 10 cars, their best laps were sort of only a second and a half apart. So it's a really competitive season, I think, we've got in store. But Chris Nyland, he'll be really pleased in the Motion Motorsport car to have that lights to flagged victory. And let's see if we can take a look at the full results.
Yes, thank you, Josh. So victory then going the way of number 130, Chris Nyland. And there you can see his car, and there you can see the results. He completed, 10 laps in 60 minutes, 7.02 seconds. He was more than 7 seconds clear of treble 7. Mark Dickin in 2nd place. 92, Jake Hewlett on his debut, a very fine 3rd place. Joe Jessup, number 28, fought back to 4th. Header number 8, Dave Frick in 5th. Another driver recovering was Travis Coyne after a poor start. He got back to 6th place in car number 70. Ashmore, number 20, took 7th place from 97, Matt Digby. William Puttigill, number 83, was 9th, and Chris Smith earning pole position for race 2 with 10th place in car number 84. 11th was number 67, Conor Murphy. Then 12th was number 88, that was the car of Travis Fletcher. In 13th place, number 9, Gavin Johnson. Sam McKee, we didn't see too much of him, 157 on his front-wheel drive racing debut. He was 14th. 15th, number 94, Ursula Jordan and James Broughton. Joseph McMullen, 17th, 15 and 11 respectively. Samuel Dennis, number 95 in 18th. 69 was James Mansell in 19th. 104, Daniel Chapman, with a bit less glass in his car, finished in 20th place. And then the final finishers were the 27 car. That was Daniel Bailey, 30 Craig Atkinson, and the Matthews, number 18, Matthew Duffel, 116 Matthew Morgan, with Tim Necklin off at Clervaux mid-race, the only non-finisher. So cars heading back in at the end of their first 15-minute race of the day. We'll see the Type R's out again for the very final race of this opening day's racing of the 750 Motor Club season here at Croft at around about 5:30 this afternoon. Still 7 more races to go in all this afternoon. We're going to change tack next with the RLM Racing Sports 1000 Championship in just a few moments' time. But we'll hopefully, before then, be able to hear from drivers from the TEGIWA Type R Trophy. Down in the pit lane, they're just getting out of their cars and ready to speak to us. But certainly a very entertaining start to the Type R Trophy racing season. I agree with Josh, was one of, if not the best Type R Trophy race we've seen so far, despite the fact it was a relatively dominant win for Chris Nyland. Let's head down now to hear from our winner. Chris Nyland is with Chris Stevens.
Wow, what a race, what a battle for second place, but that was all taking place behind this man, Christopher Nyland, victory in race 1 of the TEGIWA Type R Trophy. It was a dominant display.
Well, I'm not going to complain for the first race. I'd rather just take it like that. But yeah, I mean, I just made a good start. My aim was just to get a bit of a gap between second and third, and then just basically run a nice consistent race, which I did. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's mega.
Did it look in doubt at any point?
Well, I saw the rain come in, but I thought, well, I'll say it's the same for everybody, isn't it? But no, I just kind of managed the gap a little bit, tried to put in some nice laps as well. And then obviously when I got the last lap board, just thought I'll take it easy on the last lap and bring it home. Yeah.
So new for this year, the reverse grid race, you start 10th for race 2. How's that going to play out?
I'm looking forward to it, yeah. I'm going to see how it goes. Obviously, I know there was a snatch vehicle down there, but it looked like a pretty clean race for the guys behind, so I'm really looking forward to race 2, yeah.
Well, good luck for that and congratulations again on the victory. Let's very quickly go and talk to Mark Dicking, car 777. The rain is getting heavier a little bit down here, so we'll try and make this quick. That was an immense battle for second place.
I have never defended my back doors harder than that in all my life, I can tell you that right now, yeah. Oh, over the moon, yeah. We knew we were half a second or so away from these two guys, so I thought if I make the start and we get past one of them, we've just got to do all we can. And yeah, I would like to say I watched in my mirrors, but most of my wheels got bent in and tucked in, so I was just relying on one. But yeah, fair play, you know, really hard, really clean. It's what it's all about, isn't it? So. Yeah.
It looked utterly immense. You had to pull out every trick in the book to keep him behind. Do you think you guys are going to be locking wheels again in race 2?
Well, we've got the reverse grid and we've never done that, so I think all that's going to mean is going to be a lot more wing mirrors tucked in by the end of the race. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys can get through and how we all get through, really, because it's, yeah, first time for everything. We're going to see what it's like. I think it'll be an exciting first few laps, that's for sure. So.
All right, well, congratulations on that second place and an immense battle along the way as well. Let's go and talk to our third place driver, Jake Hewlett, in car number 92, a man who was making his car racing debut, having had a lot of experience in sim racing. I mean, what a debut that was.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything we've had to battle to get here and our first ever race, yeah, we couldn't be happier. Honestly, absolutely over the moon with it. Rookie coming in and getting third place. There's still some more pace there as well, of course, and yeah, just look forward to the next one. So there we go.
And just a quick word on that immense battle for second place. I mean, you guys were just putting on an excellent display.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Dickin drove phenomenal. Drove really, really well. Great defending from him. I applied all the pressure I could. He done well to keep it where he kept it. Yeah, hats off to Dickin. Hats off. It was a great battle.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you out there in race 2. Back up to you, Ian. It is the RLM Racing Sports 1000 Championship out next, as the rain is starting to get a little bit heavy here in the pit lane.